Hello everyone. I welcome you all for the course Engineering Metrology. So this is the fifth lecture in the series of lectures in Engineering Metrology. So today we will discuss the limits, fits, tolerances and gauges. So these are the contents. So we will recall the lecture 4 and then we will discuss the system of limits and fits, numerical problem on tolerance we will solve, and Taylor's principle of gauge design, limit gauges and what are the materials used for the gauges, and then we will conclude by with summary. So this is the last class summary. So we discussed the what is the terminology used for the limits and fits. So we defined what is shaft. Shaft refers not only to the diameter of the shaft, it also refers to any external dimension. Similarly, hole is refers not only to the diameter of the circular hole, so it refers to any internal dimension of the component. Similarly, basic size. Basic size is the size over which the dimensional deviations are given. And tolerance. Tolerance is the difference between the two limits of size. And allowance is the intentional difference between the maximum metal limit of both shaft and the hole. And deviation is nothing but the uh, difference between the size of the component and the and it's a basic size. And upper and lower deviations. It is the difference between the maximum limit of size and its corresponding basic size. And similarly, lower deviation is nothing but the it is the minimum limit of size, difference between the minimum limit of size and its corresponding basic size. And fundamental deviations. It is the minimum difference between the limit of size and its basic size. Zero line is the line which represents the basic size for the hole and the shaft. And also we defined the allowance. So allowance is the uh, difference between the maximum and minimum metal limits. Similarly, we discussed what is fit. So fit is the relationship that exists between the two limits of uh, relationship that exists between the assembly, that is hole and the shaft, that exists between the that clearly exists between the their dimensional difference is called the fit. And these fits are clearance fits, transition fits, and interference fits. And we discussed the difference between the allowance and the tolerance. And so we discussed the hole basis system and the shaft basis system, and what are the differences between the hole basis system and the shaft basis system. So generally, hole basis system is employed by many industries because hole in the hole basis system, so the hole is kept constant and sizes of the shafts are varied to get the desired type of fit. But in the shaft basis system, the shaft size is kept constant, and different holes are made to get the desired type of fit. But producing the shaft to the varied sizes is very easy compared to the producing the hole with the different sizes. So since it involves a large number of operations and it requires more number of tools, so it incurs some cost. So that's why hole basis system is employed by many industries. And we solved a few problems on we are going to solve a few problems on tolerance allowance using hole basis system in the last class. So in the today's class, so we start with the systems of limits and fits. So these systems and limits of fits are employed to get the required accuracy on the produced parts. So so in this, the rapid growth of national and international trade necessitates the developments of formal systems of limits and fits at the national and international levels. So the International Organization for Standardization, that is ISO, specifies the internationally accepted system of limits and fits, and also Indian standards are in accordance with the ISO. So the ISO system of limits and fits comprises the 18 grades of fundamental tolerances to indicate the level of accuracy at the manufacture. So the ISO system provides tolerance grades from IT01, IT0 and IT1 to IT6 to realize the required accuracy. So these tolerance values corresponding to IT5 to IT16 are determined using the standard tolerance unit I, that is expressed in micrometer, so which is a function of the basic size. So we'll see what is this. So the next one is the tolerance. So within which the a manufactured part can be manufactured also increases as the size increases. So the standard tolerances used for IT01 is relation between the tolerance grade and diameter. IT01 is 0.3 plus 0.008 D. For IT0 tolerance grade, so we have the linear relationship 0.5 plus 0.012 D. Similarly, for IT1, it is the 0.8 plus 0.02 D. So for remaining IT6 to IT16 tolerance grades, we have the fundamental tolerance unit I. For IT6 is 10, IT7 is 16. So this table is very important for solving the problems. And also you need to remember all these values. So for IT6, the fundamental standard tolerance unit is 10. For IT7 it is 16, IT8 is 25, IT9 is 40, IT10 is 64. Similarly, like that we have up to IT16. IT16 is 1000 is the standard tolerance unit. So this is, so here I value is calculated as 0.453 into multiplied by the cube root of D plus 0.001 D microns. So where D is the diameter of the part in mm, the linear factor 0.001 D counteracts the effects of measuring inaccuracies, and that increases by increasing the measuring diameter. So by using this formula, the value of tolerance unit I is obtained for the sizes up to 500 mm. So here capital D is the geometric mean of the lower and upper diameters of a particular diameter step within which the given or chosen diameter D lies and is calculated by using this expression. So square root of D maximum and D minimum. So capital D equal to square root of D maximum and D minimum. The various maximum and minimum values are given in the steps. So 1 to 3, 3 to 6 mm, 6 to 10 mm, 10 to 18 mm, 18 to 30 mm. If the diameter lies in between 18 to 30, you have to choose minimum diameter is 18 and maximum diameter is 30. Suppose if the given diameter lies in between 30 to 50, so you have to choose 30 is the minimum diameter and 50 is the maximum diameter. Similarly, we can choose up to 1000 mm. We have the steps up to 1000 mm. So in this, the tolerances have a parabolic relationship with the size of the products that we have to remember. So in the ISO system of limits and fits, it is defines 28 classes of basic deviations for holes and shafts. So which are marked with capital letters for the holes A, B, C, D up to Z, ZA, ZB, ZC by relaxing some values, some numeric, some letters I, L, O, Q, W are eliminated, and the small letters also some A to B to ZC, with the exception of I, L, O, Q, W. So this figure is already explained in the last class when in discussing the deviations. Next, so this is also same. So this is the zero line. Sorry. Okay. So this is the zero line. So from the zero line, so we measure the deviations. This is the lower limit of the hole, and this is the upper limit of the hole. This difference is called the tolerance. So this is valued from capital letter A to G. For H, so this deviation is 0. This deviation is 0 for H. For H. H is the basic hole. Similarly, this is the uh, deviations for the holes from K to Zi. K to Zi. Similarly, for the shafts, this is the negative deviation from small a to small g, and for a small h, this deviation is equal to 0. Deviation is equal to 0. So for the deviations from K to Zi, this is the positive deviation. So for the capital H for the capital H, the fundamental deviation is 0. For the small h also, fundamental deviation is 0. So this one has to remember while solving the problems. Now we will solve one problem on fundamental tolerance. So here we want to determine the dimensions and the tolerances of shaft and hole having size of 30 H7 oblique small h 8 feet. So we need to determine the dimensions and the tolerances for this fit. Also determine the allowance and the maximum clearance. So here 30 is the basic size, and H represents the hole. 7 is the IT7, that is tolerance grade is IT7. Similarly, small h represents the shaft, whose basic size is same as the size of the so for this fundamental deviation is 0. So here 8 represents the tolerance grade IT8. Tolerance grade IT8. So here 7 and 8 numbers represents the tolerance grades. Capital H represents the size of the hole. Basic size is nothing but the basic size, and small h represents the shaft. So for hole H7 and shaft H8, the fundamental deviation is 0. Fundamental deviation is 0. So the size of the hole is same as the basic lower limit of the hole. Lower limit of the hole is same as the basic size. Similarly, the high limit of the shaft is same as the basic size of the shaft. So as here the basic size 30 mm is lies in between the 18 and 30 mm. So 18 and 30 So we'll choose 18 as the minimum diameter and 30 is the maximum diameter. So using this minimum and maximum, so we'll calculate the capital D value as we have seen in the previous slide formula. So capital D is equal to square root of capital D minimum multiplied by capital D maximum. So this formula we use, D minimum diameter is 18 and maximum diameter is 30. So we'll get 23.2 mm. Capital D is 23.2 mm. It is the geometric mean diameter of the assembly. And the value of tolerance, fundamental tolerance unit I equal to 0.453 into cube root of D plus 0.001 D microns. Using this formula, by substituting this D value 23.2 in this expression 23.2 here, so we'll get what is the fundamental tolerance unit 1.308 microns. So using this I value, we can calculate what is the tolerance grade for the hole and the tolerance grade for the shaft. So IT7 is equal to, so IT7 equal to 16 times I, 16 times I. So 16 into I value is 1.308 microns. In terms of millimeters, you will get divided by 1000, you will get 0.021 mm. Similarly, the minimum size of the hole is same as the basic size, that is 30 mm, and the maximum size of the hole is equal to, and we calculated the tolerance. So 30 plus 0.0, sorry, 30 plus 0.021. So this is nothing but 30 plus tolerance 0.021. Okay, 30.021 mm. Similarly, maximum size of the shaft is 30 because the deviation is equal to 0 for the small h shaft. So maximum size of the shaft is same as 30, and the value of IT8 tolerance grade IT8 we have the fundamental standard tolerance unit I equal to 25 I. So I value is already calculated 1.308 microns. So 25 into 1.308 microns, so its value is 0.033 mm. And what is the minimum size of the shaft? Minimum size of the shaft is equal to, so this is the maximum size of the shaft, and there is the tolerance. So this is the tolerance. So this is the maximum size, and this is the minimum size. So minimum size is equal to maximum size minus tolerance. Maximum size is 30, tolerance is 0.033. 0.033. So you will get 29.967 mm. And allowance or minimum clearance. So allowance is nothing but the difference between the lower limit of the hole minus high limit of the shaft. So lower limit of the hole is nothing but the basic size 30, and high limit of the shaft is also same as the basic size. So we will get the allowance is 0. And maximum size of the hole, maximum size of the hole minus minimum size of the shaft. What is the maximum size of the hole? Maximum 30.021. Maximum limit of the high limit of the hole minus low limit of the shaft is 29.967. So we will get 0.054 mm is the maximum clearance. So in this way, so we have to solve the problem. So for this, you need to remember what are the diametral steps and what are the standard fundamental tolerance unit for the different tolerance grades. Next, coming to the Taylor's principle. This Taylor's principle is extensively used in the design of the limit gauges. So this not only defines the function, but it also defines the form of the most limit gauges. So according to the Taylor's principle, the GO gauge is designed to check the maximum metal conditions. That is low limit of the hole and high limit of the shaft. So it should also simultaneously checks as many related dimensions, such as it can check the roundness, it can check the size and the location as possible. Whereas the not go gauge is designed to check the minimum metal conditions. Minimum metal conditions, that is maximum high limit of the hole and low limit of the shaft. So the not go gauge cannot check the roundness or size or location. Okay, it can check only one dimension at a time. Thus, a separate no go gauge is required for each individual dimension. So during the inspection, the go gauge should enter the hole or just pass over the shaft under the weight of the gauge without using the undue pressure. So this is the go gauge, which is having the low limit of the hole. So it should pass into the hole because it is go side. It has to go, right. Go gauge should enter the hole or just pass over the shaft. So if we consider the shaft, the go end is designed for the maximum metal limit. So the go end should pass over the shaft. So without applying the undue force or pressure. The not go gauge side should not enter or pass. So this is the not go gauge, which is designed for the maximum or high limit of the hole or minimum metal conditions. So this should not pass over the either shaft or hole. So the basic or nominal size of the go side of the gauge conforms to the low limit of the hole or high limit of the shaft. So since it is designed to check the maximum metal conditions. So for the hole, maximum metal condition is low limit of the hole, and for the shaft, maximum metal condition is high limit of the shaft. So in contrast, the basic or nominal size of the not go gauge corresponds to the high limit of the hole or low limit of the shaft, as it is designed to check the minimum metal conditions. So the minimum metal conditions for the hole is high limit of the hole and low limit of the shaft. So limit gauges ensures that the components lie within the permissible limits, but they do not determine the actual size or dimensions. It only checks whether the component or produced component lie within the limits or not. So the gauges required to check the dimensions of a component corresponds to two sizes conforming to the maximum and minimum limits of the components. So they are called go gauges and no go gauges or not go gauges. So this is the metal limits for the hole gauging. This go gauge is designed to the maximum metal limit or low limit of the hole. Similarly, the not go gauge is designed with a high limit of the hole or least metal limit. Similarly, the metal limits for the shaft gauging. So for it we use gauge, go gauge. The go gauge corresponds to the high limit of the shaft, and the not go gauge corresponds to the low limit of the shaft. Next, coming to the limit gauging. So here gauges are used for checking the features of the checking the dimensions of the produced components. So these are called the limit gauges. This is called plain plug gauge. So this is the go end and this is the no go end. So always the go ends are larger than the no go end, because it has to go through the hole. So these plug gauges are used for inspecting or checking the hole dimensions. So it has to pass through the hole, entire hole, like this. So the top, this is called the thread gauge. So here also thread gauge, the go end is made larger than the no go end. So the go end has a number of more number of threads than the not go end. So thread gauge that is screwed into the part to be tested. The go end should fully enter the part. The not go end should not. The lower image, this is called the plain plug gauge, used to check the size of the hole. The green end is go and the red end is not go gauge. Always the not go ends are represented with red color. So it can check the 12.60 mm is go side and not go side is 12.90 mm upper size. So outside this range is out of tolerance. So this is the progressive type of plug gauges. So in the earlier, this is plug gauge. So we need to first check the go with the go end, and then you have to flip this gauge to the not go side, and then you have to inspect the holes. But in this case, you need not to flip the gauge at a time. You can measure the both the lower limit and the upper limit. So both the go end and no go ends are arranged in the same side of the plug. Only on one side of the plug. In the earlier plug gauge, that is plain plug gauge, go end is made on one side, another end not go end is made to the another end. But in this, both go and no go ends are made on one side of the plug gauge. That is called the progressive type plug gauges. So use of the plug gauge ends progressively one after the other while checking the hole. So what happens? It saves the time. You need not to flip the plug gauge, progressive plug gauge, to check the no-go or lower limit of the holes or high limit of the shafts. So it saves the time. So the go end is made larger than the no-go end of this plug gauge. So this is called the ring gauge. So ring gauges are used for checking the diameter of the shafts, having a central hole. So the periphery of the ring gauge is knurled to provide some grip while handling of the gauges, and the hole of go ring gauge is made to the upper limit of the size of the shaft and no go for the lower limit. So while checking the shaft, the go ring gauge will pass over the shaft and the no go end will not pass. So to identify the no go gauge and go gauge, for the no go gauge, there is a red mark slot is cut over the periphery of the gauge. And then there is a next gauge is snap gauge. The snap gauges are used when we want to check the large quantity of workpieces, or if you want to inspect the large number of workpieces, we use the snap gauges. This snap gauge has 4 annuals. So in this, here 2 annuals are there, here 2 annuals are there. So 2 sets of annuals. The first one pair are set using the upper limit. The first one checks the upper limit of the component, and the second one checks the lower limit of the component. The correctly measured part will pass the first set of jaws and stops at the second set of jaws. So in this manner, a part may be checked in one action, unlike the plug gauge that needs to be used twice and flipped to assess the second gauge. So snap gauges are used for checking external dimensions. They are also called gap gauges. So we have the different types of snap gauges: double-ended snap gauge, progressive snap gauge, and adjustable snap gauge. This is called the double-ended snap gauge. These ends are made for go ends for checking the maximum metal limit, and these are used for checking the minimum metal condition because it is shown in the red color. So the go annual is made to high limit, not go annual is made to low limit of the shaft. So it is also known as solid snap gauges and a progressive snap gauge. So in the progressive snap gauges or any gauge, so both the limits, lower limit and upper limit is made in one end only. So mainly used for checking the large diameters up to 100 mm. So both go and no-go annuals are provided at the same end. So the go annual should be at the front end and the no-go annual at the rear side. So the diameter of the shaft is checked progressively by these two ends so that it saves the time. So this type of gauge is made of a horseshoe shaped frame with eye section to reduce the weight of the snap gauges. And then there is another one is adjustable snap gauge. So it has one fixed end. This is one fixed end, and we have the two small adjustable annuals. Two adjustable annuals. So we have the set screws here. We have the set screws. So we can adjust the position, or we can adjust the position. The distance between the two annuals is adjusted by adjusting the adjustable annuals by means of set screws. So by loosening this set screws, we can adjust these annuals. The adjustment can be made with the help of slip gauges or for specified limit of size. So we use the slip gauges for the no-go limit and go end. The go end and no-go ends are size of the go end and no-go end height is maintained by using the slip gauges. So let us will see on video how these gauges will work. So this is the plain plug gauge. So this has the go end and this is the not go end, because the go end is made larger than the no go end. So here we want to check the dimension of the workpiece, cylindrical workpiece. So here the go end is passing through the hole. So go end is passing through the hole and not go end not passed. So here the gauges are manufactured as per the Taylor's principle of gauge design for the maximum metal conditions and minimum metal conditions. So this is the component which is held in between the fingers, and the gauge is passing through the hole. So this is the not go end. So this cannot pass. So this is a double-ended plain plug gauge. So this is progressive plug gauge. So they both go end and no go end are made to one side of the gauge. So this is go end and this is the no go end. So this is a threaded gauge. This also has the go end and no go end. So here it is moving. So it is called the go end. So the nut is passing over the threads. So it is called the go end. Similarly, this is the ring gauge used for checking the external dimension of the component. So this has the go gauge. This is the not go gauge. So this is the workpiece we want to check using the ring gauge. This is no go ring gauge. So it cannot pass over the shaft. Because it is made to the lower limit. So the go end is made to the upper limit. So it passes over the workpiece. These are the snap gauges. So we want to check the workpiece. So here we are using the snap gauge with a double-ended snap gauge. So this is not go end. The workpiece cannot pass under the annuals. So here this is go end. So the workpiece will pass. Next one is adjustable caliper gauge. So we can adjust the upper limit and lower limit using the set screws, using the slip gauges. So we use the slip gauge. To the required height or to the maximum limit, we will set. Similarly, the lower limit also set for the rear annual. Then we use this arrangement for checking the maximum metal and minimum metal limits. So this is the working of the different limit gauges, and then we'll see what are the materials used for the gauges. So for manufacturing of the gauges, we use high carbon steels. So these materials are relatively inexpensive, and you can readily machine and brought to a high degree of accuracy, and good surface finish you can achieve for the high carbon steels. Similarly, we can use mild steel materials, and also there are some special wear resisting materials also there for manufacturing of the gauges. Hard chrome plated surfaces and tungsten carbide, Invar materials, glass materials, Elinvar materials. So these are the various materials used for manufacturing of the gauges. Similarly, here we can discuss the gauge maker's tolerance. So tolerance. What is tolerance? Why we need to provide the tolerance for the components? Because the two components cannot be manufactured uh, with identical dimensions. So then we provide some tolerance for the components. So here similarly, here also the gauges also cannot be made to the exact sizes, because there is some variations in the size which cannot be eliminated due to imperfections in the process, or maybe due to lack of skill of the worker, etc., causes some variations in the um, manufacturing of the gauges. Therefore, some allowance must be provided to the gauge maker for manufacturing the gauges. This is known as the gauge maker's tolerance or gauge tolerance. So for the limit gauges, we provide the tolerance is 1/10 of work tolerance. So gauge tolerance for the limit gauges, the gauge tolerance is 1/10 of the work tolerance. And for the inspection gauges, we provide 5% of the work tolerance. Similarly, for the reference or master gauge, we provide 10% of the gauge tolerance. So these two we need to remember how much tolerance we provide for the limit gauges, inspection gauges, and master gauges. For solving the problems, this will be very useful. So for limit gauges, it is 1/10 of the work tolerance. For inspection gauges, 5% of the work tolerance, and master gauges, 10% of the gauge tolerance. So this is the today's class. So in this, we discussed the systems of limits, fits, uh, and tolerance grades, different tolerance grades, IT0, IT01, IT and IT1 to IT6, and to realize the required accuracy. And we discussed the Taylor's principle of gauge design. The GO gauge is designed to check the maximum metal conditions, that is the lower limit of the hole and the high limit of the shaft. And the NOT GO gauge is designed to check the minimum metal conditions, that is the high limit of the hole and the low limit of the shaft. And we discussed the different limit gauges, plain plug gauges, progressive plug gauges, ring gauges, different types of snap gauges we discussed. And we discussed the materials for the gauges. High carbon steel materials used, mild steel, special resistant materials like hard chrome plated surfaces and tungsten carbide, Invar materials, glass, Elinvar, etc. materials are used for the gauges. And also we have seen the video how we can use the gauges for inspecting the male and the female components. So these are the references. So we will followed in preparing this lecture. So thank you. This is the today's class, and I will in the next next lecture, that is in the lecture 6. So we solve one problem, how to design the gauge